I'm going to be straight up with everybody on the raw diet and why vets do not recommend this. And they can't in good consciousness. So the problem is this: it's a public health issue. So if you give your dog like tainted chicken with salmonella, it's really not going to do anything to your dog. It might give it the runs, but you know, dogs get runs. It's no big deal. The dog is built to handle a lot of bacteria. It's, you know, whole digestive tract is real short. It's not like ours. It just goes from their mouth. They chew it up and then it goes right, you know. It's that long, you know. It's how long the dog is from its mouth to its ass. So they can handle bacteria and stuff like that we can't. So when the animal, so say your dog ate some tainted salmonella chicken, your dog would be okay, but it would shed that salmonella in the feces. There would still be salmonella there. So you could indirectly, you know, like if the kid is out there in the park where the dog pooped or something, he could contaminate himself. And also, like, the dogs jump up on bed, there might be, you know, fecal matter on the dog. You know, you could contaminate the human being, which can't handle salmonella. And, well, if you're healthy, it shouldn't be a problem. But if you're the very young or very weak, you know, the old, and you have a compromised immune system, like if you're on some medication that your immune system is compromised, yeah, it could be a serious problem. But what I'm saying is your dog, it's fine. It's fine. It's all about public health. That's why when these pet food companies, they have all these salmonella recalls, they find salmonella in the pet food, they have to, you know, they have to recall it. It's a public health issue. It's not really like, oh, we're going to kill any dogs. You know, what's going to happen is we could kill a human being. You know, you're feeding the dog, you put your hand in the dog food bowl, and then you touch the hand to your mouth, and you make yourself sick. So you have to understand this. If you are going to give your dog a raw diet, there is that issue. That is honest, but it's not really going to affect your dog. You know, but you could affect those around you. So if you had a child in the house, you know, a young child, you might not want to give your dog a raw diet. You know, but the honest truth is this, is that there's so many dog foods that have recalls. Like, you could get salmonella tainted dog food, you know. You could get salmonella tainted strawberries, you know. That's just how it can happen. And our meat is supposed to be checked. So if there's like salmonella chicken, it's not put out on the shelf. You know what I'm saying? You know, all this stuff is checked by the USDA. If there's steak and it's like, you know, they don't put it out. You know, we have a very safe, you know, food source. The USDA, you know, they have inspectors checking the meat. And the reason why I know this is my family had a slaughterhouse when I was a kid, and there was a USDA inspector there making sure that everything was done right, everything had to be clean. And if I'm not mistaken, in Missouri at that time, you had to pay for the USDA inspector to be there at the meat packing facility. I think. Now, don't quote me on that, but I think it's something like that. So what I'm saying is we have a very safe, you know, food source in the United States, and, you know, it's worth it to me to take the chance. You know, I'm not that old. If I had an infant in the house, I might have to do something different. So there are raw foods that you can buy, like Abity, and they check for salmonella, and they also use some kind of process where they're like cleaning the meat sort of in like you know, correct, don't quote me, but it's some kind of filtration system where they use water. So, I mean, even washing the chicken off is going to kind of wash off some bacteria. But honest to God truth, I will have chicken in the refrigerator that's been there that I wouldn't touch, and it smells like shit, and I give it to my dogs, and they're totally fine. You know, I mean, it smells putrefied. The dog can eat garbage. It's honest to God truth. And a rotten food, rotten meat, you know, is the thing that the dog's kind of like made to eat. You know, they'll do it. They'll do it just fine. They're opportunists. If they're out in the wild and they come across something nasty, they just might eat it. Stuff we can't eat, they can eat.